What's the true story behind Netflix's #1 UK show right now, Baby Reindeer? Quick warning.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's been a while. Have you seen Baby Reindeer? Have you seen this show? All right, I gotta break it down for y'all. First, let me say, if you haven't seen it, yes, there will be spoilers, but not too many, because I do want you to watch it for yourself if you haven't seen it. If you like dark, you will love this. If you like great writing, you will love this. If you like learning about trauma and healing, you will love this. If you are already traumatized, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Let me tell you something. So this was like the #1 show on Netflix, right? So whenever a show is #1, I'm like, oh, okay, what's this? And it was named Baby Reindeer. So at first when I saw it, I thought it was like for kids or something. I'm like, what the hell, Baby Reindeer? Let me check this out. And then I read the description and I said, okay, this might be a little interesting. I don't know. It was real sus, right? I didn't know if I was going to want to watch it or not. But I said, I'll give it a chance. I usually give it like an episode and Good Times didn't even make it an episode, Lord, but that's a whole nother discussion. I watched it and said, what the fuck? What am I watching? What am I watching? And then I was like, oh my God. And then I couldn't turn away. It was like a car crash. You see it happen and you're like, and then you can't turn away. You just keep watching. I thought it was amazing. The writing is phenomenal. I got sucked into this man's life. I was rooting for him. I was like, Martha, what the hell? You need to get locked up. It had all the feels. And there's one scene, I'm not going to say what it was. If you watched it, you know what it was. There was one scene where he was so raw and he was so clear and he was so self-aware about who he is, why he was doing what he was doing, what it has caused and created in his life, and how he still couldn't stop himself anyway, and how the trauma that he experienced just really effed him up. And that trauma is what caused him to be in this relationship, because it was a relationship, to be in this highly toxic, dysfunctional relationship, and why he put up with the things that he put up with. And that scene right there made it just worth watching. My boo, who didn't want to watch it at all, he was like, I ain't watching this crap. He got sucked in with me. He saw that scene. He was like, oh my God, what is going on? Then he starts asking me all these questions about the show. What happened? How did he get here? It's amazing. So if you don't know, it is based on a true story. Now, I can't tell you all like what's true and what's not true because it's all kind of blended together, but it is based on a true story. I've actually seen some clips of the dude performing. Not so great. He's a comedian, or wants to be a comedian, right? And he's a bartender at this time, I think in his 20s, and he meets this woman in a bar. She looked like she was having a bad day, came in, said she couldn't afford anything. He was sweet and said, I'll give you some tea on the house. After that point, this man could not get rid of her. He could not get rid of her, Martha. I don't know if that's probably not her real name, but in the show, Martha. And she stalks him, majorly stalks him. And come to find out, she's a serial stalker. So first of all, I ain't never heard of nobody getting arrested. I know it's possible, but she was arrested for 4 years for serial stalking. She was such a bad stalker. She stalked a cop. Who the hell stalks a cop? We too busy trying to run away from cops. I'm not inviting them into my life. Anyway, so she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? And you're looking at her like, what the hell is wrong with you? You're crazy. But then you start looking like, what the hell is wrong with him? That he has this stalker woman and he's not asserting any boundaries. And they start to go into his backstory of trauma and what he experienced. And then you're like, oh, I get it now. Okay. And so you start to see how hurt people who haven't healed hurt other people. And I always say that because it's not hurt people. It's hurt people who haven't healed, right? Because there is a healing process. And this is why, let me tell you something. Where's my journal? If y'all haven't got my journal yet, Girl, live your effing life, self-love journal. I promise you, this show is a master class on why healing is so important, on what trauma does to you, what trauma creates in your life, and why you need to love yourself fiercely. Because he even admits that he didn't love himself. He even admits that the trauma was bigger than his desire to be happy, that his trauma literally sabotaged any of the dreams that he had, because deep down inside, he didn't believe that he was worthy of his dreams. He didn't believe that he was worthy of happiness. He just didn't believe in himself anymore. The trauma literally ripped that away. And even though when I wrote my, journal, it's not necessarily this type of trauma, but it is all types of trauma, whether it's at this level where it's bone deep, significant trauma, or it's trauma that comes from a transition, like for me, out of a divorce, right? Where you need that boost, where you need to love yourself again, where you need to reconnect with yourself again. I loved it. It is dark. It is all the psychology, all the healing, all the trauma. But I loved his insight. I loved his clarity. I loved the raw emotions that I could feel what he was saying. And it was like I was right there with him in London, okay? There were times where I just wanted to cry. There were some powerful scenes in the show. And I watched it in 2 sittings. Like, I'm just going through episodes like freaking popcorn. Like, I was blown away. So I highly suggest you check it out. It can certainly be healing for you, if you've been through your own process, if you are a lover and student of psychology and healing as I am, or if you just like good writing and good storytelling, right? Like, this is what Risa Tisa could be. Netflix takes it. This is what her story could be. Phenomenal. Go check it out. Go get my self-love journal. Pass it on to a friend, especially if you know anybody who's experienced a level of trauma. This is a nice, soft way, right, to get them to see themselves again. Sometimes people are not ready for therapy. They're not ready for coaching. They're not ready for that next step, especially when they're in self-sabotage mode. But if they have a vehicle that they can start to self-reflect and start to see themselves more clearly, that's that next first step. So thank y'all for listening. Let me know your thoughts. Did you see it? What did you think about it? If you haven't seen it, watch it. Tell me about it. Why haven't you watched it? I can't wait to hear from you. Y'all take care. Have an amazing evening.